David Chen became a father at 312 years old. Well, technically he was 28. That's how old he looked, how old he'd looked since 1725 when a vampire attack in the streets of London transformed him from a dying merchant into something immortal. But by the time his daughter Emma was born in 2009, David had been walking the earth for over 3 centuries. Sarah Harper, Emma's mother, knew what David was when they fell in love. She was a nurse who treated him after a car accident, noticed that his injuries healed impossibly fast, that his blood was darker than it should be. When she confronted him, David did something he'd only done twice before in 300 years. He told the truth. Sarah accepted it. More than that, she embraced it. They had 6 beautiful years together before she got pregnant. David warned her about the risks. Vampire genetics were unpredictable. The pregnancy could be dangerous. Sarah didn't care. "I want to have your baby," she said. "I want to create something beautiful with you, even if I only have a few more decades to enjoy it." Emma was born on a rainy October evening. Sarah hemorrhaged during delivery. He held her daughter for 17 minutes before dying, whispering to David, "Take care of our girl. Give her everything. Love her enough for both of us." David buried the only woman he'd loved in 2 centuries and found himself alone, with a newborn daughter who, miraculously, was entirely human. No vampire traits, no immortality, no supernatural abilities. Just a normal, fragile, mortal baby. Girl who needed her father. For 16 years, David raised Emma alone. He was a good father, devoted, patient, present in ways that many mortal fathers never manage. He went to every parent-teacher conference, every school play, every soccer game. He helped with homework, enforced bedtime, taught her to ride a bike and drive a car. The problem was, David looked 28 through all of it. When Emma was 5, people assumed David was a young father. When she was 10, they thought he was a very young father. When she turned 15, people started looking at them differently, strangely, suspiciously. Now Emma is 16, and David still looks 28. They don't look like father and daughter anymore. They look like a young couple. And that's when everything starts to fall apart. David sits in the uncomfortable plastic chair outside Principal Morrison's office, waiting for Emma's parent-teacher conference to begin. He's dressed conservatively. Button-down shirt, slacks, trying to look as dad-like as possible. But he knows what he looks like. He's seen it in the mirror, in photographs, in the way people's eyes linger on him and Emma when they're together. He looks like he could be her older brother. Or her boyfriend. The door opens. Principal Morrison, a stern woman in her mid-50s, gestures him inside. Emma's math teacher, Ms. Reeves, and her English teacher, Mr. Patterson, are already seated. "Mr. Chen, thank you for coming," Principal Morrison says, but her tone is cold. Formal. Of course. Is something wrong with Emma's grades? Her grades are fine. Excellent, actually. Emma is a model student. Morrison exchanges glances with the 2 teachers. "Mr. Chen, how old are you?" David's stomach drops. "I'm sorry, what?" "Your age. How old are you?" I fail to see how that's relevant to Emma's education. Please answer the question. David knows he should lie. Should claim to be 45 or 50, say he has good genes and a great skincare routine. But the lie feels heavy in his mouth. "I'm 28, he says, because that's what his driver's license says. That's what every identity document he's forged over the past 3 centuries has said. Ms. Reeves leans forward. "And Emma is 16. "Yes. So you had Emma when you were 12 years old?" David realizes the trap too late. The math doesn't work. A 28-year-old man with a 16-year-old daughter means he was 12 when she was born. Impossible. It's complicated, David starts. Mr. Chen, Principal Morrison interrupts. Several teachers and students have expressed concern about your relationship with Emma. You attend school functions together. You pick her up from school. And you look. She hesitates, choosing words carefully. Very young. I'm her father. We've seen no legal documentation proving that. Your driver's license shows you as 28. Emma's birth certificate lists her father as David Chen, born 1981. That would make him 44 years old. You are clearly not 44. David's mind races. In the past, when situations like this arose, he'd simply move, create a new identity, start over somewhere else. But Emma has friends here, a life, a girlfriend she's just started dating. Moving would devastate her. I look young for my age, David says finally. It runs in my family. Good Asian genes. It's a terrible excuse. Everyone knows it's a terrible excuse. Mr. Chen, Mr. Patterson says gently, we're concerned about Emma's welfare. Several students have made comments about you being Emma's boyfriend, not her father. Emma has become the target of bullying because of this. We need to verify your relationship to her for her protection. I'm her father. I've been her father since the day she was born. I have photos, documents, 16 years of medical records. We'd like to see those documents, Morrison says. And Mr. Chen, I'm required to inform you that we've contacted Child Protective Services. They'll be conducting a welfare check. David feels his world tilting. CPS means investigations, background checks, questions he can't answer. His identity, carefully constructed over decades, unraveling because he can't age like a normal father should. This is ridiculous. I'm her father. Ask Emma. She'll tell you. We have asked Emma. She insists you're her father. But Mr. Chen, you must understand how this appears from our perspective. A man who looks barely older than his supposed teenage daughter, living with her, attending school events with her. We have a duty of care to all our students. David stands. This meeting is over. Unless you have actual evidence of wrongdoing, I'm taking my daughter home. Emma is in class right now. We'd prefer she stayed through the end of the day. Is she being detained? No, but then I'm pulling her out of class and we're leaving. Now. David doesn't wait for permission. He walks out of the office, down the hallway, to Emma's calculus classroom. Through the small window in the door, he can see her sitting in the third row, taking notes. She looks so much like Sarah. Same dark hair, same serious expression when she's concentrating. She's beautiful and brilliant and 16 years old, and her father looks like he should be in college. David knocks on the door. The teacher, clearly annoyed at the interruption, opens it. I'm here to pick up Emma Chen. Family emergency. Emma looks up, confused. David gives her a look that says, don't argue, just come. She packs her things. They walk out of the school together in silence, past staring students, whispering teachers, into the parking lot where David's car waits. Only when they're both inside, doors closed, do they speak. What happened? Emma asks. They think I'm your boyfriend, David says. They've called CPS. Emma's face goes pale. What? The age gap. The way I look. They think I'm lying about being your father. But you have documents. Birth certificate, photos, everything. Documents can be forged. And Emma, my driver's license says I'm 28. The math doesn't work. They know something's wrong, even if they don't know what. Emma is quiet for a long moment. Then, we need to move again, don't we? Maybe. I don't know. I need to think. Dad, This is the third school in 5 years. I'm tired of running. I have friends here. I have Grace. Grace. Emma's girlfriend of 3 months. The first person Emma came out to. Besides David. The first relationship that actually matters to her. I know, sweetie. I know. But if CPS investigates, if they dig into our background, they'll find out you're a vampire. The words hang in the air. Emma has known what David is since she was 12. He told her after she walked in on him drinking blood from a medical bag, thought he was doing drugs. The truth was somehow easier to explain than addiction. They won't find out I'm a vampire, David says. That's not possible. But they'll find inconsistencies. They'll find that my identity doesn't hold up under scrutiny. And they might take you away from me while they investigate. They can't do that. You're my dad. I am. But legally, I might not be able to prove it well enough. Emma turns to look at him. What if I testify? What if I tell them you've been my father my whole life, that you've never done anything wrong? They might not believe you. Or they might think you're being manipulated. This is so fucked up. Language. Dad, they're accusing you of being my boyfriend. I think I'm allowed to say, fuck. Despite everything, David almost smiles. Fair point. They sit in the parking lot, both knowing that their carefully constructed life is crumbling around them. All because David can't do the one thing every other father does naturally. Age. Emma returns to school the next day despite David's protests. She insists that running away makes them look guilty. Better to face it head on, act like everything's normal. Nothing is normal. By second period, the whispers have started. By lunch, it's open speculation. Emma hears fragments of conversation as she walks through the cafeteria. Boyfriend pretending to be her dad. Creepy age gap. Probably lying about everything. She sits with her friend group, Grace, Marcus, and Jenna. They've been tight since freshman year. But today, there's tension. Is it true? Jenna asks without preamble. About your dad. What about my dad? That he's not actually your dad. That he's like your older boyfriend or something. Emma feels her face flush. That's insane. He's my father. He's been my father. My entire life. But he looks so young, Marcus says. Like, Emma, no offense, but he could pass for a college student. How is he your dad? Good genes. He just looks young. Nobody looks that young, Jenna says. My mom is 40 and she looks 40. Your dad looks 25. It's weird. Grace, who's been quiet, finally speaks. Emma's telling the truth. I've been to her house. I've seen photos of her dad holding her as a baby. It's real. Photos can be faked, Jenna says. Why would we fake 16 years of photos? Emma's voice rises. Do you think we're running some long con? For what purpose? I don't know. But you have to admit it's weird. My dad looks young. That's it. That's the whole story. I'm sorry it doesn't fit your narrow view of what fathers should look like, but it's the truth. Emma stands, grabs her lunch tray, and walks away. Grace follows. Hey, ignore them, Grace says when they're alone outside. They're just being dramatic. Everyone thinks my dad is my boyfriend, Grace. How am I supposed to ignore that? By knowing the truth. Your dad is your dad. He's been nothing but supportive and kind since I met him. Anyone who knows him knows he's legit. Emma wants to believe that, but she sees the looks, the suspicion, the way other students point and whisper when she and David are together. That afternoon, it gets worse. Emma is at her locker when 3 senior boys approach. She recognizes them from the soccer team, Tyler, Brett, and Zach. They've never spoken to her before. "Hey, Emma," Tyler says with a smirk. "Heard about your boyfriend. He's my father." "Right. Your dad. Who looks younger than my older brother. Super convincing." "I don't care what you think. Must be nice," Brett chimes in, dating an older guy. "More experienced, right?" That's what girls always say. Emma's jaw clenches. "Leave me alone." "What's wrong? Don't like people knowing you're into old dudes?" 28 is pretty old, even if he looks good for his age. "He's my father." "Sure he is," Zach laughs. "And I'm the King of England." Emma slams her locker shut and walks away, fighting tears. Behind her, she hears their laughter echoing down the hallway. It continues for days. Comments in class, notes shoved into her locker, posts on social media. Someone creates a fake Instagram account called Emma's Daddy Boyfriend, posting memes about age gap relationships. Grace tries to help, defending Emma publicly, reporting the worst posts to school. Administration. But the damage is done. Emma becomes known as that girl with the creepy boyfriend dad. 2 weeks after the parent-teacher conference, Emma comes home with a black eye. David drops the book he's reading. "What happened?" "Fight." "Emma. A girl in my PE class said you and I were probably having sex. I punched her. She punched back. We both got suspended for 3 days." David moves to get ice for her eye, but Emma waves him off. "I'm fine." "You're not fine. None of this is fine." "No, it's not. But what are we supposed to do? Move again? Change identities? Again? How many times, Dad? How many times are we going to run away from this?" "As many times as it takes to keep you safe." "I don't want to be safe. I want to be normal. I want a father who ages like everyone else's father. I want people to stop thinking you're my boyfriend." "Want?" She stops, tears streaming down her face. David pulls her into a hug. She's almost as tall as him now. In another year, she might be taller. "I'm sorry," David whispers. "I'm so sorry. If I could age, if I could look like a normal 44-year-old man, I would. But I can't. This is what I am. I know. And I love you. But Dad, I can't keep doing this. The bullying, the suspicion, the looks. It's destroying me. Then we'll move. I'll pull you out of school. We'll relocate, start fresh. Somewhere new. Until it happens again in 2 years? 3 years? When do we stop running?" David doesn't have an answer. The CPS investigation begins a week later. A social worker named Patricia Green arrives at their house unannounced, asks to speak with Emma alone. David waits in the living room, listening with his enhanced hearing to every word spoken in Emma's bedroom. Patricia asks careful questions. "How long has David been in your life? Has he ever made you uncomfortable? Do you feel safe here? Has David ever asked you to lie about your relationship?" Emma answers truthfully. David has been her father since birth. She's never felt unsafe. He's never been inappropriate. Their relationship is exactly what it appears to be, father and daughter. But Patricia doesn't seem convinced. "Emma, I need you to understand that if someone is coercing you, you can tell me. You won't be in trouble. We're here to help you." "Nobody is coercing me. David is my father. I don't know how many times I have to say it." After the interview, Patricia speaks with David. She reviews his documents. Emma's birth certificate listing him as father, medical records showing him as next of kin, 16 years of school forms with his signature. "These all appear legitimate," Patricia admits. "But Mr. Chen, you must understand my concern. You look extraordinarily young. Unusually young. I'm aware. Have you had any cosmetic procedures? Surgery? Treatments that might explain your appearance? David could lie. Could claim Botox, fillers, expensive skincare. But he's tired of lying. No procedures. I simply look young. It's genetic. Your parents, both deceased. They also aged slowly. Another lie, but a necessary one. David's parents died in 1720. Patricia makes notes. I'll need to verify your identity through additional means. Background check, employment history, financial records. Standard procedure. For unusual cases. Of course. Whatever you need. But David knows his background won't hold up under intense scrutiny. He's changed identities too many times. The employment history is spotty, the financial records, showing wealth that doesn't match his supposed age. Eventually, Patricia or someone like her will find the holes. After Patricia leaves, Emma emerges from her room. What happens now? Now we wait. She'll do her investigation, file a report. If they find nothing concerning, they'll close the case. And if they do find something, then we deal with it. But Emma hears what he doesn't say, then we run. 3 weeks later, on Emma's 17th birthday, David sits her down for a conversation they've been avoiding for years. Emma, I need to ask you something, and I need you to really think before you answer. Okay. When you turn 18 next year, you'll legally be an adult. The CPS investigation will close. But the problem won't go away. I'll still look younger than you within a few years. People will still make assumptions, will still judge. It will get worse, not better. I know. There's one way to fix this. One way to make sure we never have to deal with this again. Emma's eyes widen. She knows what he's about to say. I could transform you. Make you a vampire like me. You'd stop aging at 18. We'd be frozen at similar ages forever. People would believe we're father and daughter because we'd look right together. No more suspicion, no more bullying, no more running. Dad. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just presenting it as an option. You have a year to think about it. If on your 18th birthday you decide you want transformation, I'll do it. If you don't, I'll respect that choice. But Emma, you need to understand what you're choosing between mortality versus immortality. Yes, and everything that comes with both. Emma is quiet for a long time. Tell me what it's really like, being a vampire. No sugarcoating. David takes a breath. It's lonely. You watch everyone you love age and die. You can never have lasting friendships because eventually people notice you're not aging. You can't have a normal career, normal relationships, normal anything. You exist in the margins of human society, always hiding what you are. But you also get to see things no mortal sees. History unfolding. Human progress. You get centuries to learn, to grow, to experience. You're stronger, faster, heal from almost anything. And you never have to face death. Not really. Did you choose it? To become a vampire? No. I was attacked, drained, turned without consent. If I'd had a choice, I don't know what I would have chosen. But Emma, you have a choice. That's the difference. What do you want me to choose? I want you to be happy. If that means staying human, aging naturally, dying at 80 or 90 after a full human life, then that's what I want for you. If it means becoming a vampire and spending centuries with me, never having to say goodbye, then I want that too. I don't have a preference. I just want you to live without regret. Emma nods slowly. Can I ask you something? Anything. Do you regret having me? Knowing that I'm mortal, that you'll outlive me by centuries. David's eyes fill with tears, rare for a vampire. Not for a single second. The best thing that's happened to me in 300 years, watching you grow up, has given my immortality purpose. I'd rather have 60 more years with you as you are than an eternity without you. Even though it means watching me die. Even though. That's what love is, Emma. It's choosing someone even knowing you'll lose them. Your mother taught me that. They sit together in silence, father and daughter, mortal and immortal, both, knowing that in 1 year, everything changes either way. Emma's 17th year is the hardest yet. The CPS investigation closes with no findings of abuse, but the damage is done. Emma's reputation at school is ruined. She and Grace break up, not because Grace doubts David, but because the pressure from other students becomes too much. I'm sorry, Grace says through tears. I love you, but I can't handle everyone staring at us, asking questions, making assumptions. It's too much. Emma understands, but it still breaks her heart. She throws herself into academics, spends long nights studying, preparing college applications. She gets accepted to 5 universities, all far from their current city. Fresh starts, new identities, places where nobody knows about her and her too young father. But the question looms, will she go as a human, knowing she'll age while David doesn't? Or will she transform first, enter college as a vampire, frozen forever? At 18. David never pressures her. Never brings it up unless she does. But Emma knows. He's thinking about it. Wondering. Hoping, maybe, though she's not sure which choice he hopes for. She researches vampirism obsessively. Reads everything she can find. Folklore, fiction, medical theories. She interviews other vampires that David introduces her to, asking about their transformations, their regrets, their experiences with immortality. Marcus, turned in 1856, tells her, I've lived through so much. Civil War, both. World wars, the moon landing, the internet. I've loved and lost dozens of people. It's beautiful and terrible all at once. I wouldn't trade it, but I also wouldn't wish it on anyone unprepared. Elena, turned in 1923, tells her, the hardest part is watching humans age. Befriended a woman in 1950. We were close for 40 years. I had to fake my own death in 1990 before she noticed I wasn't aging. Then I heard she died in 2005, and I couldn't even attend her funeral. That's immortality, loving people from a distance, always saying goodbye. Catherine, turned only 5 years ago at age 21, tells her, I'm still adjusting, still figuring out who I am as a vampire. The physical changes were one thing, the enhanced senses, the strength, the blood. But the psychological changes are harder. Knowing I'll never age, never die naturally, never have children. It's a lot to process. Make sure you're really ready before you choose this. Emma listens to all of them, takes notes, tries to imagine her life both ways. As a human, college, career, marriage maybe, children possibly, aging naturally, dying eventually while David watches and mourns. As a vampire, college eternal, career complicated, marriage to another vampire. Maybe, children never, frozen at 18 while the world changes around her for centuries. Both paths have beauty. Both have loss. 3 months before her 18th birthday, Emma makes a decision. She doesn't tell David. She wants to be absolutely certain before she commits. She spends those 3 months living as if they're her last as a human. Reconciles with Grace, explains she's moving away for college, wants to end things on good terms. She visits her mother's grave weekly, talks to the headstone about her choice. She documents everything, keeps a journal, takes Photos records voice memos about her thoughts and feelings. If she chooses immortality, she wants to remember what it felt like to be mortal. If she chooses mortality, she wants her children someday to know what she was thinking during this year. David watches all of this with the patience of someone who's lived 3 centuries. He doesn't push, doesn't ask, just loves her, supports her, gives her space to figure out who she wants to be. On the night before Emma's 18th birthday, David cooks her favorite meal. Stir fry with vegetables, rice, the recipe Sarah used to make. They eat together, in companionable silence. After dinner, Emma finally speaks. "I've made my decision." David sets down his fork. "Okay. I want to talk through my reasoning first. Will you listen?" "Of course. I've thought about this for a year. Longer, really. And I've realized something. Either choice means giving something up. If I stay human, I give up eternity with you. If I transform, I give up a normal human life. There's no option where I get everything. No, there isn't. So the question becomes, what do I value more? And I think I value you." David's breath catches. "You've been the one constant in my life. Mom died when I was born, so I never knew her except through you. We've moved 6 times in 16 years. I've changed schools, lost friends, reinvented myself over and over. The only thing that's never changed is you. You've always been there, always loved me, always put me first." "Emma, let me finish. I don't want to lose you, Dad. I don't want to age and die while you stay young. I don't want to be 90 years old with a father who looks 28. I don't want to spend 60 years together and then leave you alone for another 3 centuries. That's not fair to you. This isn't about what's fair to me. This is about what you want for your life." "I know. And what I want is more time with you. Hundreds of years instead of just 60. I want to see the future with you. I want to not have to say goodbye." David's expression is complicated. Joy and sorrow mixed together. "Are you sure?" "Emma, once this is done, it can't be undone. You'll be 18 forever. No aging. No children. No normal life." "I'm sure. You understand what you're giving up?" "Yes. And Dad, I understand what I'm gaining too. Eternity with my father. To become whoever I want to be without the pressure of mortality. Centuries to learn and grow and experience things. That's not a sacrifice. That's a gift." David stands, walks around the table, pulls Emma into a tight embrace. "You're sure?" "Absolutely sure. I'm sure. Then tomorrow, on your 18th birthday, I'll transform you. But Emma, I need you to promise me something." "What?" "If you ever regret this decision, if you ever wish you'd stayed human, I need you to tell me. Don't suffer in silence. Don't pretend to be happy if you're not. Promise me." "I promise." They hold each other for a long time, father and daughter, mortal and immortal, on the edge of a choice that will change everything. Emma turns 18 on a Tuesday. David takes the day off work. They spend the morning doing normal things: breakfast, a walk in the park, going through old photos. Emma wants to remember what it feels like to be fully human before it's gone forever. At sunset, they return home. David has prepared everything: medical supplies, blood bags for after the transformation, restraints in case Emma loses control during the change. "This is going to hurt," David warns. "The transformation is agonizing. Your body is dying and being reborn simultaneously. It will feel like every cell is on fire. It lasts about 3 hours. I'll be with you the entire time. But Emma, it's going to be the worst pain you've ever experienced. I'm ready. Are you? Really?" Emma takes a deep breath. Dad, I've thought about this for a year. I've considered every angle. I want this. I want to be like you. I want us to face eternity together. Transform me. David's hands shake as he prepares. He's never transformed anyone before. For 300 years, he's refused to make others like himself, knowing the curse of immortality. But this is Emma, his daughter, the one person he'd do anything for. Lie down, he instructs. Emma lies on the bed. David binds her wrists and ankles, not tight, just enough to keep her from hurting herself during the convulsions. Last chance to back out, David says. Do it. David sits beside her. I love you, Emma. No matter what happens, no matter what. You become, I love you. I love you too, Dad. David bites his own wrist, lets his blood well up dark and thick. Drink. Emma drinks from her father's wrist, the vampire blood entering her system. Tastes like copper and electricity and something ancient. She swallows 3 times, 4, until David pulls away. Now comes the hard part. David bites Emma's neck. Not deep, not draining, just enough to trigger the transformation. His venom mixes with his blood already in her system, and the change begins. Emma screams. The pain is immediate and overwhelming. Every nerve ending fires at once. Her heart races, then stutters, then seems to stop entirely before starting again with a different rhythm. Her bones ache like they're breaking and reforming. Her blood burns in her veins. David holds her hand through all of it, whispering words of comfort, wiping her tears, enduring her screams. He's lived through many horrors in 300 years, but watching his daughter suffer through transformation is the worst. Hours pass. Emma convulses, cries, screams, occasionally passes out only to wake, in worse pain. Her body is dying, cell by cell, and being reborn as something other. Finally, as midnight approaches, the pain begins to subside. Emma's screams fade, to whimpers, then to silence. Her breathing, which had been ragged and desperate, evens out. Her heart, which had beat frantically, slows to almost nothing, just 2 or 3 beats per minute, the ghost of human life. David unties the restraints. Emma, can you hear me? Emma opens her eyes. They're different. Still her eyes, same brown color, but brighter somehow. More aware. Ancient and young simultaneously. Dad, I'm here. How do you feel? Emma sits up slowly. Everything is loud, bright, too much. That's normal. Your senses are enhanced now. It'll take time to adjust. Emma looks at her hands. They look the same but feel different. Stronger. When she flexes her fingers, she can feel power in them that wasn't there before. Is it done? Am I a vampire? Yes. You're a vampire now. One of us. Emma stands, testing her new body. She's not hungry yet. That will come later, when the transformation fully completes. But she can feel the difference. The strength, the speed, the sense that she's not quite human anymore. I'm 18, Emma says, looking in the mirror. I'll be 18 forever. Yes. And you're 28 forever. Yes. People will believe we're father and daughter now. The age gap looks right. Yes. Emma turns to David, tears in her new vampire eyes. We did it. We fixed the problem. Yes. But Emma, we also just changed your entire existence. Are you okay with that? Emma considers. She expected to feel different, to feel loss, maybe, or regret. Instead, she feels relief. The pressure of mortality is gone. The ticking clock has stopped. She has centuries now to figure out who she is and who she wants to be. I'm okay with it, she says. Dad, I'm more than okay. I'm free. David pulls her into another embrace. Welcome to immortality, Emma. Let's face it together. Years passed. Emma Chen is 68 years old. She looks 18. She stands in front of the mirror in her apartment, examining her reflection. Same face she's had for half a century. Same body. Same everything. While her college friends from back in 2025 are now approaching 70, dealing with grandchildren and retirement, Emma looks exactly as she did on her 18th birthday. David, her father, her constant, her choice, knocks on her door. You ready? Almost. Just thinking. About whether I made the right choice. 50 years ago. Do you think I did? David enters, sits on her couch. He looks 28, same as always. Do you think you did? Emma sits beside him. Honestly, yes. I don't regret it. I've had 50 years with you. I've watched the world change, technology evolve, humanity progress. I've been to every continent, learned 8 languages, earned 3 different degrees under different identities. I've loved and lost and loved again. I've lived more in 50 vampire years than most humans live in their entire mortal lives. But I also miss things. I've watched every friend from high school age and die. Grace passed away last year. Heart attack at 67. I wanted to go to her funeral, but I couldn't explain why I still look 18. I've never had children. Never experienced pregnancy or parenthood. I've never grown old naturally. Never. Seen what I would have looked like at 40 or 60 or 80. Do you regret the transformation? No. I regret what I lost, but I don't regret what I gained. Does that make sense? Perfect sense. That's immortality, Emma. It's not about avoiding regret. It's about accepting that every choice has a cost and deciding whether the price is worth it. Emma leans her head on her father's shoulder. Was it worth it for you? 372 years of existence? Watching everyone you love die except me. Yes. Because I got to raise you. I got to watch you grow from a baby into a remarkable young woman. And now I get to spend eternity with you. That's worth any amount of grief, Emma. You're worth it. You're such a dad. I am a dad. Your dad. Forever. They sit together in comfortable silence, father and daughter, both frozen in time but both still growing, still changing, still living. Not the way humans live. With births and deaths and natural endings. But living nonetheless. Together. Making the most of the eternity they chose. 50 years ago, people thought David was Emma's boyfriend because he looked too young to be her father. Now they think he's her older brother. In another 50 years, people will assume they're close in age. In 100 years, maybe people will think Emma is the older one. It doesn't matter. The labels don't matter. The assumptions don't matter. What matters is that they're together. What matters is that they chose each other. Emma chose immortality, David chose to share it with her, and together they chose family over everything else. That's the real story. Not about a vampire father who looks too young, or a teenage daughter who had to become immortal, but about a family that refused to be separated by something as inconsequential as time. Love across centuries. Family across eternities. That's what they've built, and they have forever to enjoy it.